So this is Duke. Duke is going to help us how to identify a mat. So the ideal comb would be a metal comb with the finer teeth. And we are going to brush through Duke's beard. So you can see that it is not going through and there's a bit of resistance there. So we'll part Duke's beard and we can see there's quite a few mats in there. So once we identify the mat, we'll need a slicker brush, part the hair and just gently brush it out. We don't need to use excessive force, just constant brushing. It will make it easier just to part the hairs and work layer by layer. So now when we go through with the comb, there's no resistance. And if there is, more brushing. Ideally, if you find mats that are a bit closer to the skin and a bit harder for the comb to come out, use some detangling spray. Spray it in, rub it for a few seconds. Use your finger as a guide and brush it out. Another way of identifying a mat is just with a normal standard hairdryer. So what you're looking for when you're drying the hair is clumps of hair sticking together. So once we've identified where they are, okay, Harley. Same methods. Detangling spray, brush out. So what you can do if it's still wet, go through with the hairdryer, dry, and then brush again. So some of the detangling sprays acts as a conditioner, a leave-in conditioner for your dog. And there you go. Pretty much mat-free. So one of the main elements of washing your dog is be careful not to get any water inside your dog's ears. Use your thumb to close the ear canal to stop water from getting into it. Also, one thing we can identify when we're washing is just to look inside your dog's ears to see if it needs any cleaning, any smelly odor coming out of it, or if the ear's inflamed. Harley's is pretty good. So if the ear is inflamed and red, it will likely be an ear infection. So we're going to show you how to maintain your dog's ears and avoid an ear infection. Inside Toby's ears, you'll see a bit of dirt. Use some ear cleaner, dab in the cotton ball and just clean, ideally once a week, or per your vet's instructions. So Harley has just been washed. Now if you would like your dog fluffy, keep in mind that when he's washed, do not air dry him. If he is matted or has a few mats, the mats will compress and become tighter. Depending on what slicker you have, whether it's the one with no tips at the front, top, or the ones with tips, it could irritate the skin. Sometimes it could even scratch the skin a bit. So we'll dry Harley first and then we'll thoroughly comb him and brush him out. So just keep in mind to see what the mats are and then at the end we'll brush it out. So when we dry Harley, we can identify the mats easier when they're wet. When you find them, you can spray them with the detangling spray, massage it in, and then we'll brush it out when it's dry. So now we are going to show you how to safely cut your dog's nails. Harley has black nails. So Harley has quite long veins. His veins will end here, which means we cannot go shorter than there. If we do, it will bleed. The best way to see the veins is in the light. You will see a bit of pink in the veins. But if you can't, so the safest way would be to use a nail clipper with a little stopper. Pop the stopper into place a little. So that's covered the little section there. These nails will hit the stopper, safely cut. I probably wouldn't go shorter than that because then we might risk the chance of him bleeding. If it does, have some styptic powder, pop it on the end, hold for a few seconds. So Toby has white nails, but he has long veins or quicks. We cannot go shorter than this. His quicks stop there. So most people would want their dog's nails to be shorter than this. We can't go because once we cut that, it will bleed. we can grind the tips with a nail grinder, just to make it a bit shorter. So here we have Louis. Louis has a bit of discharge dried up around the eyes. Now we need to identify and remove it before it becomes an issue. The safest way to do it would be to get a warm, wet cotton ball and just damp it on the eye, by the discharge area. If this is not taken care of, it can cause irritation around the dog's eyes and become problematic. Our aim is to try to get the discharge as soft as possible so we can safely release with our fingers. And if it's warm, just hold it there until it softens up. As you can see, if it doesn't get identified straight away, there is a bit of raw skin there. That is why it needs to be identified as soon as possible.